This time for real. Okay.
Okay.
One, two, three. Hello.
Damn
Ooh.
it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I totally spaced out. Okay.
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 One,
One,
two,
two, three.
three.
Hello.
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 Hello. Welcome to the worst day of my life. My name is Cherish,
And I'm Megan.
and we're so happy that you're here to join us for this wonderful fuck.
What is wrong with us?
I've been drinking
Oh my God.
too long now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, excellent.
Are you hiding?
Kind of. Oh, Patrick and his mom, they are so funny. She's
Yeah.
got him absolutely nuts, and it's hilarious. She's just like, she can't hear anything, but she needs to know everything. So I'll be like, she'll be sitting in the living room, and I'll be in the kitchen, like
Yeah.
with Sophie. And I'll be like, hey, Sophie, you need to make your lunch for tomorrow. And she'll be like, what? What? What'd you say? What are they saying? Kat, what are they saying? What are they talking? Oh, what? Like, she's
Oh my
telling
God.
Sophie she needed. Was telling Sophie she needed to make her lunch. She needs to what? What does she need to do? She needs to make her lunch. Oh, does she make her lunch? Yep. But every every fucking thing you say, like, all right, I'll tell Patrick. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. If you can watch a baby. What? What? Where's she going? Pat, where's she going? Did she leave? What's wrong? Where is she? Oh, going to the bathroom. Oh, okay. And then she looks at you like, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man. How old is she?
In her 70s,
Yeah.
so
Oh man.
she's not super old. She's just hard of hearing and needs to know. But he gets so frustrated with her, and it's the most. I've never like, Patrick. I've never seen him really frustrated.
Uh-huh.
Every once in a while, even like the most terrible things that happen to that poor man, like he keeps his cool pretty damn
Yeah.
well. And
Right.
I can see him just like getting just like so irritated with her. I would do the same thing with I couldn't have my mom here. No
Yeah.
way. I love my mom very much. I love her right where she's at.
Well, it is kind of funny to me just because Patrick likes to prank me and like
Mm-hmm.
me so much that I think it's hilarious that he's just kind of getting I don't know, not necessarily like a taste of his own medicine, but just
Yeah.
just his feathers ruffled or whatever
Uh-huh.
on a continual basis for 2 weeks. Kind of makes
Right.
me laugh. She's probably you said she's keeping Scout busy or entertained.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Scout is in heaven.
Oh,
Scout is very happy that her grandma's here.
that's
Just,
adorable.
yeah, she loves her so much. So cute.
Oh, that is cute.
So we tried to record a few days ago, and
Yeah.
as usual, it got fucked up.
Right.
Um, this time it was some sort of storm
Yes.
passing through. We lost
Yeah.
each other for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
was, yes.
we did like a half an episode. We were talking about lactose intolerance, and you said that drinking some just regular ass milk would give you days.
Yes. 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 It will. But for some reason, I like ice cream, I tolerate. I guess I don't think it's how things are pasteurized, but I haven't really experimented with. other types of like, I haven't tried to drink like a glass of straight up like goat's milk or, you know,
Mm,
hot milk or anything like that. I'm like so freaked out to even try just because,
yeah.
and plus it just kind of grosses me out because of how sick like regular milk makes me. I'm not like
Ugh,
a person to like go drink like a glass of milk just to like, for shits and giggles.
I'm kidding.
I
Who
don't like
does that?
I don't
People do
know.
that. People
Yeah.
drink milk with their dinner, like
Yeah.
every night. It's so
Yeah.
fucking gross to me.
I remember, yeah, Savannah's dad used to like drink a gallon of milk a day, and he had his own
Ugh,
gallon, and he would just go pick it up out of the refrigerator and like
ugh,
take the lid off and just like chug it down like it was water.
that is so gross to me. I don't know why. I'm not even lactose intolerant, but just milk grosses me out for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, there's something. Well, and like, plus, if you have like the type of mom that forgets to like throw away an expired gallon of milk, or
Maybe that's why it grosses me out.
yeah, or like leaves the rotten. Like my mom used to leave the
Yeah.
milk on the counter for like
Oh.
hours, and then she would put it back in the refrigerator after it'd been like out for like 12 hours. And so
Oh.
yeah, and like just that smell, or like finding an old baby bottle that like got stuffed
Oh.
under a couch or something, and then you open it
Yeah.
and it's just like the worst odor ever.
Oh. Yep. My
Anyway,
my friend that stayed with us for a little while when I was a kid and lived in Seattle.
yeah.
Uh his apartment was near Frat Row at the University of Washington, and he would walk home every day, and like frat boys would yell at him, like, call him the FAG word and things like that. Um, and so he decided to save up, like he got a few different gallons of milk and put them like next to his radiator in his apartment and got them just like thick and disgusting. And one day just like threw them at the front of that house. And he said that just watching them like gagging, cleaning it up just was so satisfying.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh
So
my
great.
gosh. Yeah, but gosh, what a like horrible place to live next to.
I know that poor guy. Yeah, he moved away from there. He was not meant for that area of town, I don't think.
Right?
Didn't you have something that you did like that to like uh, there was like a fish and a
Oh yeah.
landlord?
Yes.
Tell me that story.
Okay. Well, my old roommate was this creepy dude that I had. I feel like I have to tell backstory to explain like why I even got to the
Do it.
point that I did. But so I was living in these old apartments called, oh, I think they were called like the San Carlos apartments, and they were like really super old, like built in like 1902, like really cool old building in like downtown Tucson, but like like not a very expensive apartment because I could never like
Right.
afford a very expensive apartment. So Savannah, I gave her like the actual bedroom, and then kind of set my bed up in the living room, like kind of made it a studio.
Hmm.
And it was kind of cute for that factor, but it was just definitely not like very like big enough. And
Hmm.
so I met the neighbor who I had known from just like, acquaintances or whatever, seeing him out, whatever. And one night, like he and I got to talking about, like where we wish we could live because we were both living in the same apartment complex. And oh, and there was like a pedophile that lived in the apartment complex. Um,
Lovely.
yeah. And so anyway, I was trying to get out of there. It was like a bad school district. I don't know, just a lot of reasons. So we start forming this idea like, hey, like, like we get along, like we hang out, a lot. Like, why don't we get a place together and be roommates? And
You and
so,
the neighbor did
yeah,
this?
me and the neighbor.
Okay.
And like I'd known him for a long time, like throughout years, but just never like, that was like the first time I really got to know him because we lived right next door to each other. And so like, we would hang out like when Savannah was sleeping and talk, and like nothing romantic ever happened. I
Yeah.
actually thought he was like, well, I just didn't really think he was like into the ladies.
Right.
So I made that, like, I don't know, I guess judgment. But anyhow, so yeah, like time goes by, we decide we're going to start looking for places. we find the like most amazing house ever in like this really, really like upscale, nice neighborhood that was like super cheap. Like it was like something ridiculous for what it was because it was like 3 bedrooms, like had a basement, like old hardwood floors, amazing old like fireplace, huge
Mm,
backyard, like just beautiful, like beautiful house. And so
yeah.
we're like, yeah, like let's do it. And so like we get all into it and we're like, ready to sign the lease and stuff. And then he's like, tells me that he has like feelings for me, like romantic feelings. And I was like,
Mm,
well, like I don't really have those same feelings. Like I don't reciprocate those feelings. And I was like, and I think that like it's probably not a good idea that we live together, since there's now this
mm-hmm.
element. And he like assured me, he's like, no, 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 like I can put all of that aside. Like I understand you're not into me, but like, he's like, I won't make things weird, blah, blah, blah. So
Right.
I like a dill rod, don't go with
Well,
like
you were
my gut.
young.
Yeah, don't go with my gut instinct. And then I'm like, cool. Like, yeah, I was young, but I still had like a child, Savannah,
Yeah.
who at that point was like, I think, because we moved up here when she was 12. So she's probably like 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So we go like move in this house, and then like things start like getting like weird, but like not too weird at the beginning. But like he told Savannah I don't know, he was always like trying to, not like in a creepy way, hang out with Savannah, but like like wanted to kind of talk to her like a male role model or whatever. But
Yeah.
just like would say some random weird stuff that I was just kind of like, huh, like that's weird. And then time starts going by more and more, and then he starts like doing weird stuff, like sitting on the couch by like the front door if I was getting ready to go out. And then I'd be like walking towards the door and be like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm like
Oh.
going out. um didn't you go out like last night? Like, how late are you going to be? And I was
Yeah,
like,
none of your
like,
fucking business. That's how
yeah,
late.
right, exactly. And then he would like have his like shoulders crossed and just like staring like into the, like the wall across from him, like weird, like with a weird, like, I don't know, he just looked demonic and like
So
crazy.
he was my ex-husband, is what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. But he was just
Yeah.
supposed to be my roommate. Like,
Right.
um, and so then he started writing me like weird letters and like slipping them under my door. And then one time I went to California and like I forgot something and had to turn around and come back to the house. And like I found him in my room, and like my underwear drawer was open. Yeah,
No.
yeah. So like things keep getting weirder, but also I have like a lease with this person. And like I'm just kind of trying to stay away from the house as like much as possible, and like keep Savannah away from him and just kind of like do our own thing. But he just kept getting weirder and weirder. And so actually started having Autumn come over and like stay the night there. And
Mm-hmm.
so then, because I was like super freaked out, and so then he reported me to the landlord for having, what did he call it? Like impure lesbian bullshit was going on, and
Oh,
yeah,
lovely.
impure lesbian
Is
bullshit.
that what he wrote a letter like that and it said that?
Yeah, he sent that. Well, I don't know that he may not have used the term bullshit in that letter, but that's what he was referring to the situation as. And so yeah,
Mm.
he tells the landlord that, and the landlord lives like somewhere on the East Coast, so he's not even anywhere near Arizona. And then he starts documenting like when her car was in the driveway and like sending the landlord photos.
Oh my God, he is my ex-husband.
Yeah. And so then one night, like he comes in, and this is a night that like Autumn was staying there. Savannah was in the next room sleeping, and like this is like we're not doing anything lesbian, in that situation or that time. So Savannah is in like the other room, but like the only thing dividing us was like a glass French door that you could see everything through. So it wasn't like romance is like going
Happening.
on
Right.
in this room. and like he busts in and he's like standing over, like hovering over me, calling me a dirty dumb bitch. Yeah, over and over again, like a psycho. He's like, you're a dirty dumb bitch. You're a dirty dumb bitch. He's like, I'm a college graduate and you're just a dirty dumb bitch. And then
Oh my God.
yeah, so I call 911 and they arrive on the scene. They arrive, and so he starts, defending himself to the police, telling them that, he's sick and tired of this fucking lesbian bullshit going on in the house. He has to come home from work every day, and, we're just here, doing our lesbian bullshit, which I still actually have the police report from that, which is hilarious. I
Does it
can't
say lesbian bullshit in it?
Yeah, it does actually. It says a lot of things like it's just going. Oh, and then he starts telling them that he works in the HR department at the university, and that he wants their
Ooh.
badge numbers. Yeah, he wants every one of their badge numbers because they basically, I mean, they arrested him. Like they took him away. He was super belligerent.
You're so lucky that they did that because he lived there,
Yeah, yeah. So then like I get a restraining order. So he's ordered to be away from the house. I think it was like for a month's time. But then the landlord said that I broke the lease agreement because he was only renting that house out with the understanding that it was like a typical what did he say? Like a typical family or no, conventional family unit moving into the house. So yeah,
No.
so that I violated the lease by being a lesbian essentially.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, so because I wasn't living in like, this conventional lifestyle. And so he had me basically evicted, but it's like not on my record or anything. I actually went and got a lawyer like to cover myself for that, but
Oh, good
it
for you.
ended up costing me like $1,200.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so needless to say, yeah, my roommate was gone for an entire month because of like the restraining order, and then to allow me enough time to find a new home. But he got to move back in the house after that month was like when I left, he could move back in. The landlord let him stay there and live there for the remainder of the lease. And so I was like really mad because I definitely felt like he was kind of like in the wrong there a little bit, in terms
For
of like
sure.
who had to move out. And
Yeah.
so yeah, so I did some during that time, like the last final day. Oh, and he was still he was violating his restraining
Restraining
order.
order.
He was coming over to the house, and every single time, like I'd have to call the police, but the minute I'd call them, he would drive off. And so it was like, I could never
Oh.
prove that he was doing it, but he was he was doing shitty stuff like that. Like he was making these like really difficult. Anyhow, and he was just being a psycho weirdo during it all, like he total kind of like a sociopath type. Like you really see that come through, like living that close to him.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, yeah. So then I started towards the end. I put a dead fish carcass in the toilet tank. I used his special like hand towel to wipe my vagina every time I went to the bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I used his toothbrush and like brushed or cleaned out the toilet with that. And
Nice.
yeah, I took some like weird milk and I put it down the bathtub. That like this is actually pretty bad. This was more of like I guess a lucky to the homeowner than to him. But there was a leak in the bathtub and it was going down to the basement and causing mold. And so I put a bunch of like gross shit into the bathtub, like let it go down the drain. I basically made like a sludge and then let it leak slowly into the basement is another like I guess F you.
That's
But
beautiful.
I shouldn't be like recording this because that's I guess like against the law. But yeah.
The statute of limitations is for sure up on this one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it has been like over 12 years, but
yeah, you're fine.
Oh yeah, that was the one thing that he told Savannah that he had had this horrible nightmare that Autumn and I were like scissoring or something like that. And mind you, Savannah was 11 years old. And he's like telling her about this graphic nightmare that he had.
Oh,
Yeah, he was like so like he just took like I guess and that was the weird thing because I like when I met him, he was always hanging out with this one guy and they always seemed like very I don't know, like lover-esque.
mm-hmm,
So I just like I always but like then I truly found out like how like homophobic and like hateful he was of the notion that
mm-hmm.
lesbian action going on. God,
Wow.
how wrong was I?
He
Anyway, so
deserved every little bit of that. Every homophobic person that we've talked about tonight
yeah,
deserves that stinky revenge that they got.
yeah, the rotten milk. Because yeah, my brother used to get harassed in that same kind of way, like you described your friend,
Hmm.
walking on frat row,
Yeah.
and that was like kind of something that they would kind of thing that they would do, like a retaliatory thing of like I guess one time he told me that they were like walking down the road and like some like these same bros that were always harassing them and like calling them, like you know names that are not kind.
Right.
Um, and like derogatory, like, things or whatever, saying derogatory things. And so one day, I think one of them, he would have to tell the story. Maybe I'll have to have him submit it. But
Hmm.
about like one of them like shit into a big like thirst buster cup from Circle K, and then the
Oh.
other one like peed in it, and then one of them like just by holding it and smelling it caused them to vomit. So it was like vomit, feces, and urine all in this giant thirst buster cup. And then like the bros drove by and they're like convertible and they like chucked it at them and like pretty much I think it just probably like exploded into the car all over them.
In
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
But
oh
that
my
was kind of
God.
like that was kind of the only time that I've really like ever done something like that. Like I'm not a revenge kind of person. Like I don't yeah, like I don't slash tires. I don't, like stalk people. I don't like do like weird, like, I'm gonna like, I don't know, like crank call you pizzas or something that you didn't pay
Right.
for. Like, things like that. Like I don't um but that one time, like I really felt like a crazy person.
I I feel like it was justified, and I feel like you did a great job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. This
Yeah.
is why you're my friend.
Hmm. I think
Because you approve of my bad behavior.
yeah, I will always root on your uh risky decisions.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything retaliatory against somebody that did you wrong? I guess in a way that you would feel comfortable sharing with the world.
No, the only the only things I've ever done like that were terrible were just to you.
Oh, yeah. Like all the pranks you used to play.
Oh, it's so sad and so mean. But it was never my idea. I'll just say
Yeah.
that.
Well, the one
But
I think that I forget. I think there was the one idea that you had was the one that actually worked because all the other ideas failed. But it was the one
yeah.
time that I had just gotten ready to like go somewhere and got out of the shower, was drying my hair, and like it had like flour or baby powder in my blow dryer, and then it like blew all over my damp hair and just like adhered to it, and I was like supposed to be somewhere in a certain time, and I like didn't have
Oh,
time to like take another shower, and I was like very upset.
yes.
Was that
Um,
you?
I don't think so. See, you've told me this story so many times, and I'm sure it had to be me. I mean, you and I lived together.
Mm-hmm.
I did that shit to you all the time. It always failed, but I don't remember doing that. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. Maybe I was drunk and
Uh-huh. At like
probably
5 p.m.
it's possible. And I thought it would be super funny to do that. Did it happen in your car too?
I don't know that it happened in my car.
Okay.
I think I would have remembered that. Well, because my
Okay.
car is always so dirty that I might not have noticed if
Well, I
it
think
had.
maybe we got the idea because we saw somebody do it to somebody in their car where they put like baby powder or flour, whatever it was, in the like air vents.
That's so messed up. Yeah.
I know. Wouldn't that be terrible if that happened to you after you did the blow dryer thing?
Yeah. Yeah. That would have just really, I would have been more upset about it if it was in like the car that I have now. But if it had been in my like Honda CRV, I
Oh my
probably
God.
honestly would have just
That
thought it was like mold.
I
Yeah.
can't explain the smell of that car that you probably got used to at some point.
Yeah, well, I just saw a post that I was going through like my old Facebook post because you know how it shows you like whatever like the date like the memory of
Yeah.
last whatever the hell. And so I like it caused me to like want to kind of go back and just sort of like I don't know, kind of clean up my old Facebook because it's
Uh-huh.
just like I get these reminders. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I saying?
Yeah.
So I went back in time, but I saw the one that Alex told me that he had farted and it smelled exactly like the inside of my car. Like really grossed him out.
Yeah, we got to talk more about the CRV someday. I know you spilled some sort of fish
Oh yeah.
juice.
Uh-huh. Well,
What was
yeah.
Oh, and fish sticks melted in there too? Is it different
Yeah.
fish juice? Multiple fish juices.
Yeah, there's definitely like I definitely had a lot of spills of like oyster juice, like when I would be opening up like the oyster jar and then like pulling off
In
the
your car?
lid, always kind of like splatters oyster juice everywhere.
You eat oysters in your car often? Of
Well, yes, I do
course
actually
you do.
too.
Of course you fucking do.
Like on lunch breaks and whatnot. And then
Right.
yeah, like yeah.
I always love to have a lunch break and have a nice big jar of oysters in my car. That's totally normal.
Um, yes, but yeah, no, the fish sticks was I think probably like the worst smell. And that was when I went to the store and bought, you know, like a bunch of groceries or whatever, filled up the back seat of my car, and like I guess well, the fish sticks had like spilled out and went under my driver's seat, but I didn't realize that for I don't know, it was like well over a month. Um, but I started thinking that I had maybe a bacterial vaginal infection because I,
Go to the doctor.
yeah, I did actually. I went to Planned Parenthood to get checked out to make sure I didn't have like some weird STD or bacterial infection.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
When I would
That's
have
so
the windows
funny.
rolled down, it would like, you know, like air would be circulating through. And it was coming from my seat, which also was near my crotch.
It totally makes sense, but it's so funny that you went to the doctor and it was just fish sticks under your. Oh my God.
Yeah, they actually, those fish sticks had eaten through the plastic, like the rotting or whatever, ate through the plastic and that like cardboard, you know, like how it has kind of like that, like,
Subfloor.
yeah, it had adhered to it ate, like it was like eating through, like the gross rotting acids were like eating through the interior of my car, like on the floorboard underneath my driver's seat. And like, that's how long they were in there. And that's how
That's
long I thought I had a vagina. Yeah.
oh, that's beautiful. Oh my God. In episode one, I sound like too excited, and you sound like not excited enough. And originally my thought was, oh, I feel like maybe I talked about diarrhea too much, which I did cut out a little bit of the diarrhea talk. But then now today I was like, you know, if people don't want to listen to diarrhea stories, they should not be listening to this podcast.
Well,
Because
yeah, I mean,
what is more embarrassing than diarrhea? And it happens all the time, unfortunately. So it's gonna be in a lot of stories. Remember when you were making your dating profile, your dating app profile,
yeah,
and I read through it and I said, this is great, but I think that you should add that if they don't if they
yeah,
don't like hearing stories about diarrhea, they should not date you.
yeah. I
And look at
actually, I actually showed that like prerequisites to Kenny like not that
uh-huh.
long ago. It's like, um,
It's so important though. It's so important to put your real self on those dating apps
yeah,
and find the right person, because if you pretend to be anything, then you're going to find somebody that likes what you're pretending to be, and then you're going to have to pretend and do that bullshit the whole time. And you
yeah,
have diarrhea stories and you talk about it, and somebody who dates you needs to know that that's going to happen, and they need to be okay with it, and they need to think it's funny.
right,
They don't
yeah,
have to think it's funny, but they have to listen to it.
yeah.
um I was wondering if you would like to hear a story that someone wrote in to me.
Email? Yes, I'd absolutely love to hear the email story. Yes,
Okay. I think you might be able to relate. We'll see. We'll see when you hear my story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. My name is Maddie, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. She really has no shame. Most people would be like, don't say who my name is. Okay. Several years ago, when I was in high school, I was a theater nerd. I was in several musicals and plays, and at this point of my thespian career, I was a filler character for the musical Bye Bye Birdie. We had been practicing the full show at this point, and our debut was only a few days away. Because we were practicing through both acts of the musical, we would have a snack break during intermission that was expected to be supplied by the parents and or guardians of the students in the play. Everyone was informed of allergies, but for some reason, many parents either blatantly ignored the allergy warnings or did not care. I personally am allergic to peanuts and am lactose intolerant. On this fateful day, a parent decided bringing Go-Gurts was a good idea. Oh, fucking Go-Gurts and nothing else. I remember I remember gazing longingly at said Go-Gurts. I was hungry, tired, and still had the entire second half of the act to practice through. I knew it was risky, but I decided to eat one of the Go-Gurts. Well, actually, I ate three because I have zero self-control. Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything went fine through the second act. We were wrapping up and gathered around the musical director to talk through notes and what to expect on opening night. I began to feel lightheaded. The words of my director started to slur in my head, and my stomach started to fill rapidly with gas. On the verge of passing out, I began to release a mighty fart. Oh my God, I love that. And I mean mighty.
Oh man.
I could not control it, and the more that seeped out, the more it would build up. I swear, I was farting for a solid 3 minutes. I have
Oh,
no idea how loud or pungent it was because I was so lightheaded. It felt like the floor was rumbling alongside my guts. At this
no.
moment, I knew I desperately needed to get the hell out of there, so I rapidly stood up and announced to the whole group, probably in the middle of what my director was saying, announced that I had to leave as my parents were there. I ran out of the auditorium and beelined to the nearby bathrooms. If you are lactose intolerant or know someone that is, you would know the next 30 to 45 minutes and there was absolute hell. But it got worse. You see, I was unaware that cheerleaders were practicing for a pep rally. Oh, God, fucking cheerleaders. In a nearby smaller gymnasium, and two cheerleaders came into the bathroom I was in. Mortified, I lifted up my feet so they could not see me, and they exclaimed to each other just how awful that bathroom smelled. I heard them retch and backpedal out of there quickly. In my shame, I stayed in the stall for a whole other 30 minutes to ensure I did not run into any of the cheerleaders or peers from the musical. Oh, so sad.
Like,
Once I felt confident and empty, I called my stepmom to come pick me up. I think she could tell I was not feeling well, but didn't ask. I immediately went to my room after we got home, and another dizzy spell hit me. I quickly laid myself on the ground and proceeded to shit myself. At this point, I had no fight left in me and just let it happen.
oh, oh,
I think we all know that feeling. I don't know how long I laid there, but I eventually got up and cleaned myself up. No one mentioned anything the next day or any day after. I don't think anyone knew what had happened. Oh, that is so lucky. I thought she was farting that whole time before. I thought the 3 minute fart was pretty obvious, but I guess not. I was sincerely relieved to not be labeled by some horrible name like Fart Girl. And I started to bring my own snacks to practice. Yeah, good idea. The show went off without a hitch overall, and I had a really lovely time. I will never be able to eat a Go-Gurt ever again, though. I hope you enjoyed my story. It's something to look back on and laugh now that I'm thrilled to find an avenue I can share it with. Until next time, Maddie.
oh my God.
I, as I was reading that, I had a flashback of something that could, potentially be embarrassing, I guess, but I was a child, so I had no shame. But I'm allergic to nuts.
Yes.
Everything, yeah, everything except peanuts. I'm allergic to all of them. Um, and I was at a baby shower at my aunt's house when I was probably 9 years old, something like that. And I've always known that I'm allergic to nuts. I don't eat them. I can't eat them. I will vomit. So I was like looking through all the like snacks and stuff on the counter, and I saw trail mix with a bunch of nuts in it, but it had M&Ms in it too, right?
Yeah.
So my child brain, I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick those M&Ms out of that trail mix and eat them, and then I'll be fine because I'm not eating nuts. No, you stupid idiot. There's nut dust all over those M&Ms, and they're gonna fucking make you vomit. No, I didn't know that. So I ate a whole bunch of those M&Ms, and I threw up all over the counter in my aunt's house, like all over
So
the
cute.
other
Yeah.
food it was like very quick
Oh,
vomiting.
Care Bear.
And I felt so bad that I like ruined the fucking baby shower because I thought I could eat M&Ms out of trail mix. Nut
Um,
dust is a real danger.
yeah. No, of course. Oh, I just like want to scoop you up and give you a, I don't know, cuddle.
Burp. Yeah. Wipe the vomit off of my face. Thank you so much for listening. We are going to get this recording thing figured out at some point. And if you have any advice for us, we will gladly take it because we're just a couple of old ladies that have no idea what we're doing.
Yes.
Um, you can follow us on Instagram if you like. It's the worst day of my life .podcast. We have a little Facebook group if you want to join us, chit chat about some embarrassing things. It's just called The Worst Day of My Life on Facebook. And then if you have a story that you want to send us that is an embarrassing day in your life, we would love to see that and read it and hear it and smell it. It's the worst day podcast at gmail.com. So send those to us. I sound like I'm from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Worst day podcast, gmail.com. Said, he was like, I'm worried that you're going to get too caught up in it sounding professional and then you guys are going to lose the fun part of it. And I
Yeah.
said, I get that. We'll make sure it's still fun. I don't ever want it to not be fun because we both already have jobs. We don't want this to be a job.
No.
But I do think it would be fun to sit and talk to you in person too and record with you.
Yes.
I think that
Yeah.
might be more fun.
Yeah. I
Even
can.
though I love talking to you on the phone. It's just not the same.
No, it's not.
So hopefully this will be our last phone episode and we'll figure it out from here. But thank you for listening.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
yes, and remember, it could always be worse. And bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.